Banger after banger.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Big Girl Chris back at you with another one. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, ring the notification bell, hit me up on social media, Twitter, TikTok, the community posts, and most importantly, man, we're continuing the campaign. We're continuing to fight the good fight. Leave me a thumbs up on this video, because every like on this video, every thumbs up goes towards the Tony Khan shut the hell up and stop tweeting so much campaign. We're going strong, man. Every like helps. Please, whatever thumbs up you can give, please give on this video. Please. Thank you. And it's Saturday night. You already know what that means. It's a good night for fighting. It's a good night for YouTubing and talking some graps, talking wrestling, talking about AEW Collision. And it was just a fun show, man. I've missed the past couple of AEW Collisions due to, Fastlane and NXT. But I'm back in the mix. I'm back in the saddle. I'm back in the reviewing chair of destiny, here to talk some graps. And we started off this show with the Rated R Superstar Edge. I'm still going to call him Edge. I'm not used to calling him Adam Cole. He's always going to be Edge to me. Edge kicks off with this show. He's saying that, he's feeling some type of way about what Christian Cage said these past couple of times they've interacted, you know what I'm saying? And before Edge could really get into this promo, Christian comes out. And he comes out with security, and I think he had a lawyer out there as well. And this is to ensure the fact that he makes it to this main event tonight for the TNT Championship against Bryan Danielson. And as they're talking, Bryan Danielson comes out, and then Ricky Starks comes out, and then Ricky Starks, sassy heel Ricky Starks, he's making his way to the ring. He's talking trash about Danielson and Edge, and he praises Christian. And then Edge, he goes on to call Ricky Starks a vanilla midget version of The Rock. And then you have FTR come out, and they're talking about the tag team titles, and they want their rematch in the future. And then they all start fighting. They punch for a little bit. Christian pushes one of the security guards into Bryan Danielson. They all start fighting. They punch for a little bit. And this sets up for the main event, Bryan Danielson versus Christian Cage. And the main thing that Christian and Danielson were talking about is the fact that Christian got the Blackpool Combat Club and Edge banned from ringside. But on the flip side, Danielson got Christian and his coalition banned from ringside as well. So it'll be a one-on-one fight for the TNT Championship. So next up, they show MJF speaking out against, anti-Semitism, and speaking out against Jewish hate. And I'm not Jewish, and I can't really speak for what MJF goes through and what the Jewish people go through. But it is cool to see, MJF be that voice, being the kind of like the, I guess you can say, the spokesperson, speaking out against Jewish hate and anti-Semitism, so that's a good look. Back to the graps, we have Samoa Joe defending his Ring of Honor Television Championship against Willie Mack. And this was two big meaty men bumping meat. Samoa Joe ultimately gets the win. It's always good to see Willie Mack perform on AEW television. It's good to see Willie Mack perform in general, getting that TV time. Of course, he didn't get the win. Samoa Joe wins. He's still the king of television. He's still the Ring of Honor champion. And he's making it clear that he still wants that shot against the AEW champion, whether it's Jay White or MJF, whoever. He wants his shot at the AEW championship. So next up, we have a backstage segment from CJ Perry, and she's talking about the fact that she wants to be a manager, and she's checking out the clientele. And out of nowhere, Action Andretti came up. He pulled up, he's trying to trying to throw some game on CJ Perry, and she's like, oh, I can't wait to get that phone call. And of course, Miro is her real life husband, so he wasn't too happy about this. So later in the night, they showed a backstage segment for Miro, and he's saying that, listen, whoever links up with my wife, I'm going to take you out. And they showed him just beating up Action Andretti. And on top of that, in case matters couldn't get worse, next week on Collision, it's going to be Action Andretti taking on Miro. I'd like to take this opportunity to say rest in peace, Action Andretti, because your ass officially belongs to the Redeemer and Miro. Not a good look for you, my boy. We had the Danhausen promo or segment or pre-tape or whatever. Yeah. I'm assuming he's coming back soon. He's recovering from injury, so good for him, good for Danhausen, good for money. Yeah. So next up we had Juice Robinson taking on the fallen angel Christopher Daniels. And I'm like, damn, I kind of forgot Christopher Daniels works for AEW. I know he's like he's involved with like a backstage role. I think it's like talent relations. But sometimes I forget that he still wrestles. So it's good to see Christopher Daniels wrestle. Juice Robinson got the win. You had the Bullet Club with their shenanigans. After the match, you had Jay White pull out a ring and get down on one knee and put it on Juice Robinson's finger. And I guess this is setting up for Juice Robinson being in the Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal this coming Wednesday on Dynamite, to see if Juice Robinson can be the one that finally ends the 4 years undefeated streak of MJF being the Dynamite Diamond Ring wearer or whatever. And then of course you have Jay White. He's still holding the AEW Championship. He's talking trash about MJF. So it's always good to see the Bang Bang Gang, the Ass Boys, and of course my favorite wrestler, Card Blade, the greatest wrestler of all time. Good for you, good for Card Blade. After this, we had a backstage segment from Nick Wayne, and the interviewer was telling him that this coming Wednesday on Dynamite, he's going to have a sit-down interview with Jim Ross and his mom. And Nick Wayne's like, yo, what? Okay. It's like, I feel like he's explained why he did what he did, but I guess he got to stretch it out a little bit further. And of course, you have Nick Wayne's mom on television, who's, not a bad lady to look at. So hey, more Nick Wayne mom content. Christian was right. I see the vision. Yeah. So after this, we have a match between Kyle Fletcher and the Boulder. This was a match. Kyle Fletcher won. His tag team partner is injured, so he's getting a little bit of shine, getting a little bit of a singles run. And then later in the night, you had Kyle Fletcher call out Kenny Omega for a match this Wednesday on Dynamite, I believe. So that should be a banger, because Kyle Fletcher, he's continuing to impress me as a singles wrestler. I haven't really been too familiar with Aussie Open until they kind of got into AEW, and I started paying attention to them a little bit more. And then with Kyle Fletcher having a singles run, the dude can go. And Kenny Omega being on AEW television is always a good thing, so I'm down for that. I'm assuming this is going to tie into the whole Don Callis family storyline, because Kyle Fletcher is kind of loosely affiliated with the Don Callis family, so that makes the most sense. So after this, you had the Acclaim. They're trying to teach Max Caster how to talk to people because his people skills kind of suck. And as it's happening, you have Daniel Garcia and 2.0. They pull up and they lay the challenge down for the Trios Championships, and it's going down next week on Battle of the Belts. Battle of the Belts is still a thing, I guess. I haven't really been excited about Battle of the Belts since the very first one. And after the first one, they kind of dropped the ball as far as getting me excited. And a lot of people excited about this show. But, we'll see how this goes. So speaking of belts, speaking of championships, speaking of matches, speaking of women, we have Skye Blue, who's low-key turning evil, challenging Chris Statlander for the TBS Championship. And this match was really good. This was a really good women's match. I think this is probably one of the best Skye Blue matches I've seen so far from her. And that's a good thing. Like, you've got the wrestling down. You got the character work down, because she got sprayed in the face with the evil mist from Julia Hart. And you're kind of seeing her, with the dark eyeliner. She's, being more aggressive. She's wrestling more of an aggressive style. And like I said, this is a really good match. The only women's match on the show. You know how that goes. But it was entertaining nonetheless. Chris Statlander ended up getting the win. But the thing about this match was there was a couple times where it looked like Skye Blue was gonna, pull out the upset and become the new TBS champion. But it wasn't the case. Chris Statlander ended up getting the win. And after the match, it looked like she was going to try to shake Skye Blue's hand. But Skye Blue wasn't feeling it. She was kind of looking pissed off a little bit. And then you had Willow Nightingale, one of my many wrestling crushes, come down. And she kind of intervened. And she was kind of like, saying, let me deal with Skye Blue, let me talk to her. But she got sprayed in the face with the evil mist too. So she's looking a little crazy. She's looking at Chris Statlander a little sideways. So, who knows, man? Are these two gonna join the House of Black? Is Julia Hart gonna form her own House of Black? Because I don't know what's going on with the actual House of Black people. So who knows where this goes? But I am intrigued to see what happens with Skye Blue, what happens with Willow, and their ongoing feud with the TBS champion. So we have a pre-tape segment from LFI. They're back. They're on their way back. Roosh is on his way back. So that's pretty cool, you know. They're showing up. They're pulling up in Bentleys and they have all nice suits and cool masks and everything. So I do want to see LFI come back. I want to know what happened between them and Andrade. Like, what's going on? What was really good? I don't know, but I'm excited to see LFI back in the mix. Keith Lee had a match. Yeah, and then you had in the back you had Shane Taylor promotions watching Keith Lee. So that's the thing. I hate to say this, but I don't care. I honestly don't care, and that sucks because I really like Keith Lee. Dude's dope, man. He truly is limitless as far as what he can do in the ring. But man, I don't care. How did AEW do this to Keith Lee, man? How do you? I don't care about Keith Lee. I don't care. Anyway, he won his squash match. I don't remember who he wrestled. It was some dude with a mullet, man. I don't care. But what I do care about is this main event for the TBS Championship. Christian Cage, Bryan Danielson. What a match this was. What a entertaining. And these two are going at it, man. Christian Cage making the turtleneck more popular now more than ever. Bryan Danielson continuing to prove and show why he is one of, if not the best wrestler in the world. And the main story was Christian was working over Bryan Danielson's previously injured arm. Hitting reverse DDTs with his arm behind his back, you know what I'm saying? Bryan Danielson kicking Christian's head in. And these two had a phenomenal match, man. I want to see more from these two. I want to see them wrestle again. It was dope, man. It was awesome. And like I said earlier in the video, Blackpool Combat Club was banned. The Christian Coalition was banned. But the person that wasn't banned, or the people that weren't banned, was Big Bill. Big Bill was there. Big Bill, one half the tag team champions, Big Bill, and Ricky Starks. So what happened was Big Bill distracted the referee, and Ricky Starks came up out of nowhere and hit hit Bryan Danielson in the head with the AEW Tag Team Championship, and this caused Christian to get the win. He got the 1, 2, 3. After the match, he had these guys beating up on Bryan Danielson, and then he had the Christian Coalition come out, and then out of nowhere, FTR pulled up, Edge pulled up, and they're laying hands on Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne. Ricky Starks and everybody got out of the ring, and the only person that was left in the ring with Edge and FTR and Bryan Danielson was Nick Wayne, and he got hit with a spear, you know. So sucks for Nick Wayne, but that was an entertaining way to end this episode of Collision. So there you have it, man. Outside of my little mini Keith Lee rant, Collision is back, man. I'm back with my Collision review. Overall entertaining show. Setting up for this week on Dynamite, setting up for next week on Collision, and of course Battle of the Belts. So we'll see if they can do something to get me excited for Battle of the Belts, because I don't know which number of Battle of the Belts this is, but I don't care. But hopefully between now and next week they can do something to get me excited for it. With that being said, this show gets the honorary W. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Of course, as always, like, comment, subscribe. You guys take care. Peace. I'm out. Peace.